Hey everybody, Jane here, and today I'm coming to you with my middle grade March TBR. For anybody who is not familiar, middle grade March is hosted by Books and Jam and Life Between Words. I've been following Books and Jam's channel for several years, and last year I did also participate in middle grade March. So I'm very excited to participate again. They gave 5 prompts for middle grade books, and I am pretty sure that all the books I chose were middle grade. It's a little bit confusing, to be honest, to figure out exactly what middle grade by definition is. I was looking it up online and I had things that said books for kids 8 to 12, books to kids 7 to 11, somewhere in there. So these books, I feel like all fall into those categories, though if you definitely know what is not a middle grade, please give me a holler. But as far as I understand, these are all middle grade books and they all fit the prompts, so I'm really super excited. So I am going to be participating and doing the Book of Boy, which is their group book. Last year their group book was Sweep, and I read it and it was so good. It was actually one of my favorite books of the year last year, I believe. It was either that or one of my biggest surprises. I don't remember which, but definitely last year's one, which was Sweep, will sit with me for a long time. It was so good. So I'm eager to read this next one that they picked out for us. I don't know a lot about it other than it is an adventure and it takes place in the medieval period, and I believe it involves a boy who can talk to animals. Now, I will say adventures are not normally my cup of tea, but since it is a middle grade, I'm hoping I really have a good time with it, and the talking to animals thing definitely can't hurt. All right, now I'm going to go into what I've chosen for the different prompts. Now, I will tell you, I don't have these in the order that the actual prompts were given on the channel, so I hope that doesn't confuse anybody. But my first book that I'm going to be doing is Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab, and it is for a book that takes place somewhere other than the country that you live. So it's their diversity read. And this book actually takes place in Paris. The first book in the series I read last year and really, really enjoyed. It is about a girl who, after a near-death experience, can now talk to ghosts. And it's kind of funny because her parents are ghost hunters and they can't actually see or talk to ghosts, but she can. She has a best friend who's a ghost, and she's a huge Harry Potter fan. So all of these things really made me like this book series last year and be excited about it. This just came out recently, I believe, and I just hadn't gotten to it. So it was one that I was really looking forward to and am still really excited to be reading. Can't wait to get to it. The next book I know very little about other than who the author is and that I've liked books from this author in the past related to animals, and this is an animal related book, and that is Ribsy by Beverly Cleary, and this is going to be my prompt for a book with illustrations. So this book has quite a few illustrations in it, and I love books on dogs, and this looks like it's going to be just a really cute, fun time about a mischievous dog. So, looking forward to that. The next book, the prompt was to read a mystery. And I will be honest, I had kind of a hard time. I was wanting to get some things like from my shelves. Ribsy was from my shelves. Tunnel of Bones was from the library, and I wanted kind of an even mix because I'm trying to read books from my shelves and books from the library pretty evenly this year. This one kind of counts, but kind of doesn't. It is from my daughter's shelves, not my own. So part of why I'm trying to read these books is to get them out of my house and pass them on once I've read them to people who will love them if I decide not to keep them. So this book will not be being passed on, it'll just be being passed back to my daughters, but still on my shelf, I feel like it counts. And that is American Girl, Mystery of the Dark Tower. This is about a girl living in 1928 who, I don't know much about it, but her father moves her to Harlem And without any explanation, they leave her mother behind. I don't really know what's going on with that, obviously, because it's a mystery. And she's trying to figure out what is going on with her family. And she gets to see a lot of things going on with the Harlem Renaissance, which I don't know much about this time period. Obviously, it's something in the 1920s. But when I was growing up, I absolutely loved the American Girl books. I had the Samantha doll. So if any of you have read any of the American Girl books, I loved, I think Kirsten, Felicity, and Samantha were my favorites. I did like Molly, and a lot of the others hadn't really come up. Addie was being made when I was at the time of wanting to read these. So I read some of her books, but I don't think I finished her series, but I finished the other four that I mentioned. And I did own the Samantha doll. So yeah, I was really into the American Girl series as a child and then kind of outgrew it. My daughters are not necessarily so in love with it, but I still get them American Girl doll or girl books because, you know, there's always that hope that they'll fall in love with the books. They don't like dolls, so no chance of $100 dolls, which on one hand, good that we don't have to spend $100 on a doll. On the other hand, I loved my Samantha doll until my sister and brother got a hold of it and destroyed the crap out of it. They drew on her, they cut her hair, they hog-tied her and hung her up because they were mean children. They're better adults, but anyway, I don't know a ton about this mystery, but this is a time frame I don't know much about, and I'm excited to get in there and read it. I think I could really enjoy books about the 20s. So that was my mystery story. The next book that I chose is a library book, and this is a book by an author I really like, but I haven't read this, and I read a series by this author. I'm about to finish the fifth book of the series, or the fourth book of the series, and it's on my 5-star predictions. Don't know yet what it's going to be, but it's on the predictions list. This book is not on the predictions list, but it is similar enough that I expect to really enjoy it. And that is The Island of Dr. Libris by Chris Grabenstein. Now, he is the one that wrote Mr. Lemoncello's Library. And I'm using this prompt as a book about books or stories. Apparently in this book, the books come to life, or the boy gets sucked into the books. Not really sure, don't really need to know, because I love Mr. Lemoncello's Library, and if this is pretty similar to that, I think I'll have a good time with it. I was originally going to read the final book in the Mr. Lemoncello's Library for this, but it didn't seem as book-focused as the other 3 books before it, so I thought, well, you know I like this author, and this seems like a cool story, and definitely fits the prompt, so grab this one instead. So yes, again, that is The Island of Dr. Libris by Chris Grabenstein. Excited to read this. Pretty sure I'll love it because I love the Mr. Lemoncellos. All right, and then the final prompt is a book that has a movie adaptation. And originally I had chosen Black Beauty because I was looking through my shelves going, I know the classics have adaptations, etc. I'd forgotten that I had this book, and when I realized I had this book, I swapped out Black Beauty for Call of the Wild. As a lot of you know, this movie is coming out. I'm really excited to read it, to watch the movie, and it will be great to read the book beforehand. This is a very small book, but I did check, and it does say it is not abridged, so I didn't realize it was such a short book. I had read when I was younger the illustrated classics version of this story, so I kind of know what it's about. It is about a dog in maybe Alaska, somewhere really cold, the Yukon, Alaska, something like that, and the adventures that this dog has. So I'm super excited to read it. Black Beauty I will have to get to another time. Black Beauty is another one that I had read the illustrated classics version, but have never gone back and read the unabridged original classic version. So I will be reading The Call of the Wild, very excited, and then hopefully sometime very soon going to see the movie, because I'm a Harrison Ford fan, and he's in it, and I mean dogs. Alright guys, are you participating in Middle Grade March? I will link Books and Jams channel below and also Life Between Words' channel if you want to check out the original announcement videos, in case you want to do it but you hadn't heard about it before now. If you are reading books in middle grade March, do you have a TBR? If so, please link your video in the comments because I would love to see what you are reading for middle grade March. Have you read any of these books and do you think I'll like them? I would love to hear your take on them in the comments below, but please no spoilers. Also, in the links below, or in the description box below, I will leave links to my social media should you want to contact me off of YouTube. Alright guys, this has been Jane. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks, bye.